Some people called this a step down from Bumblebee. I don't think it's that bad. Transformers Rise of the Beast was released in 2023, directed by Stephen Caple Jr., starring Anthony Ramos. And I was very, very excited for this movie. Last year, it was one of my most anticipated of the year. And yeah, I still don't get the hate that this movie gets. I still have issues with it, which we will get to, but yeah, I thought that this was still a fun entry into the franchise. So let's talk about it, starting off with the good. And like I said, this is just a fun entry. So there's a lot that I liked here. First of all, Anthony Ramos is really good as our new human protagonist, Noah. I think that he's one of the most likable humans in this franchise. Obviously, I still prefer Haley Steinfeld from Bumblebee, but I thought that Noah was a good enough human character to be following. I thought that he had a relatable arc in this movie, trying to find a job to provide for his family. It's a relatable thing, so I really enjoyed his character. Aside from him, you get some really great Transformers action. First of all, Peter Cullen is back as Optimus Prime after only really having a cameo in Bumblebee, really. He is back as a main character, and I loved Peter Cullen's performance as Optimus in this movie. I really loved his arc as well. How he starts out not really trusting humans, not really trusting Noah, and learning to trust humans, and especially Noah at the end. I really, really love that arc he goes through. And I love his vocal performance in this movie. This is probably the most badass he has ever been as Optimus, especially in the third act, where he fights Scourge. Absolutely fantastic performance from him. Then you get Mirage, played by Pete Davidson. And I know a lot of people aren't fans of Pete Davidson. I personally don't mind him, and I really liked his vocal performance as Mirage. You really buy into the whole bromance he's got with Noah. I love how they kind of click as friends in this movie. Yeah, Pete Davidson, I feel like, really was perfect as Mirage in this movie. Then, obviously, Bumblebee. Bumblebee is fun. Bumblebee's not in this movie a whole bunch, but when he is in it, he's great, especially when he comes in at the third act. However, most of the movie, he's kind of dead, and then he comes back in the third act, but yeah, Bumblebee's not in it, but he's still a fun character. Let's talk about the villains in this movie. First, you have Scourge, voiced by Peter Dinklage. I thought Peter Dinklage was fantastic as Scourge. This is probably my favorite of the Transformers villains outside of Megatron. That's just how good Scourge was. That's how good Peter Dinklage's performance was. Also, he's got a really cool design, and he's got a really badass fight, especially with Optimus at the end of the movie. And the other villain I really want to talk about is Unicron. We finally get Unicron in live action, and proper Unicron, not that weird idea they had for the last night where Earth was Unicron. This is proper Unicron. We finally get to see it in all its live action glory. And it looks absolutely perfect. I love the portrayal of Unicron in this movie. Now, this movie is called Rise of the Beasts. So what beasts are we talking about? We're talking, of course, about the Maximals. First, you have Optimus Primal, voiced by Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman does a fantastic job as Primal in this movie. I really hope that they make more of these before Ron Perlman and Peter Cullen age out of their roles of Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal. I'd love to see more of them. He's really the only Maximal that gets much attention, except for the one voiced by Michelle Yeoh, and Michelle Yeoh is obviously great. I love her character in this movie. And aside from the characters, you get some fantastic action in this movie. Some of the best in the franchise. Obviously, you're not going to top the action from Dark of the Moon in live action. That's just top-notch Transformers live action sequences in there. The score is really great. This movie's set in the 90s, so you get a bit of a more of a 90s soundtrack here, and I love the 90s soundtrack. I thought that it fit really well. You get some really great humor, some really great emotion between the humans and the Transformers, and the CGI is still absolutely top notch. That's about all for the good. On to the bad. And yes, I still have some issues with this movie, as much as I still enjoy it more than most people. First of all, I didn't really care for the whole setting of the third act. I loved the battle that took place, but I didn't care for the setting. It was very colorless and kind of ugly. And for God's sake, let's stop with the damn sky beams in our films already. I thought we were past that, but this movie tried to bring it back. Also, really none of the other Maximals get much of anything in this movie. The only ones that really get focus are Ron Perlman and Michelle Yeoh. Obviously, they're the biggest name voice actors that they got for them, but Rhinox, the cheetah, they don't really get anything to do. Scorponok is in this movie as a Predacon, and I could not have picked him out had I not seen it online. But that's about all for the bad. On to the final thoughts. I still think this is a great Transformers movie. It's not perfect by any means. None of the live action movies are perfect, but it's still a fun movie, and I think it's a really solid follow-up to Bumblebee. I hope this gets a sequel. I know this one didn't do super well at the box office, but I still hope this gets a new one. I know there was the whole G.I. Joe teaser, which I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know if that's going to be any good, but hopefully one day we'll see. Transformers Rise of the Beasts is a fun movie, a great addition to this franchise. I have a lot of fun with it, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you have seen it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.